It's my belief that hip hop peaked in 2018, quality wise. Obviously, we've had other great years in hip hop. As far as the last decade, I believe 2015, 2016, and 2017 were all great years. They were amazing years. But something about 2018 to me was just special. And in this new series, I'm going to be explaining all the reasons why. I'll be covering the music, the lyrics, the interviews, giving my own viewpoint on some of these things, the behind the scenes stuff, and of course, the bullshit. This is only the first of many videos I'm going to do, so like, share, and subscribe to keep up with the timeline if you like the video. And hopefully by the end of the series, you'll understand why hip hop peaked in 2018. But first we have to start 2017, when one artist set the precedent for everything going into the next year. By the way, I'm going to put the timestamps in the description in case there's some parts you do want to see or don't want to see. On March 23rd, 2017, Kendrick Lamar released Part 4 of his The Heart song series. And in the song, he discussed a myriad of things, from his status in the rap game, to Donald Trump, to Russia meddling with the votes, to the criticism he got for his previous album, To Pimp a Butterfly, to his new single releasing on April 7th, but most importantly, geniusly dissing Big Sean and Drake throughout the song. So before I get to the actual lyrics, I'm going to break down the whole history of the beef between Kendrick, Drake, and Big Sean. So this whole beef pretty much started on August 14th, 2013, when Big Sean released the song Control featuring Kendrick Lamar and Jay Electronica in anticipation for his upcoming album titled Hall of Fame, which Kendrick addressed him later on the Heart Part 4, but we'll get to that when we get to that. But on Control, Kendrick called out all the people who he considered to be his peers in the now famous lines, "I'm usually homeboys with the same niggas I'm rhyming with, but there's hip hop and them niggas should know what time it is." And that goes for Jermaine Cole, Big Quit, Wale, Pusha T, Meek Mills, A$AP Rocky, Drake, Big Sean, Jay Electron, Tyler, Mac Miller. I got love for you all, but I'm trying to murder you niggas. Trying to make sure your core fans never heard of you niggas. They don't want to hear not one more noun or verb from you niggas. With his competition, I'm trying to raise the bar high. Now back then everybody was saying, oh, he dissed him, he dissed him, he dissed him. But that last line, he's saying it's competition. He's trying to raise the bar. He's trying to make sure this is hip hop. You know? This is what they're supposed to be doing. But of course, a bunch of rappers took it very personal. Not really any of the ones that Kendrick actually mentioned. I guess the ones that didn't get mentioned felt also disrespected. But guess who did feel disrespected most of all? So about a month later, Drake responded very subliminally on the song The Language, saying, "I don't know why they've been lying, but your shit is not that inspiring." Now, it obviously could be directed to a bunch of people, but Kendrick is obviously looked up to by a lot of people as a leader of the new school and an inspiration for a lot of people, especially as far as lyrical rappers go. Kendrick would then respond in a BET cypher saying, "Yeah, and nothing been the same since they dropped Control," and tucked a sensitive rapper back in his pajama clothes. Come on, Control. Sensitive rapper. You know what it is. Sway even got Schoolboy Q to call Kendrick to ask him about it, and Kendrick said,
"First of all, congratulations on the BET Cypher. Congratulations."
Good looking.
Yeah, man. Hey, so people want to know, was that directed towards Drake? Hello, Kendrick?
You're breaking up.
No, seriously, was people want to know, was that directed towards Drake or anybody in particular? Huh?
That was just us having fun as usual.
Uh-huh.
All right, that's enough, Kendrick.
Wait,
He ain't taking my shine.
Come on, Q, you hung up the phone.
Django.
Drake then responded back on Future's song Shit, where he said, "Yeah, I think it's funny how they dangling the bait, but I'm the one that's killing niggas on the hooks though." Now that could also obviously be a response to Pusha T, who said on the song King Push, "Cause I'm King Push, still King Push. I rap nigga, about trap niggas, I don't sing hooks." Now before the Drake verse on the Future song even came out, Drake did an interview with the Vibe magazine where he said, Mind you, I never once said he's, meaning Kendrick, a bad guy, or I don't like him. I think he's a fucking genius in his own right. But I also stood my ground as I should. And with that came another step, which then I have to realize I'm being baited and I'm not gonna fall. Which jumped to 2018, that didn't work so well, but we'll get to that when we get to that. Next, in 2014, Kendrick fired back on J-Rock's song Pay4 saying, I tell 'em all hail King Kendrick, resurrecting my vengeance, been dissecting your motor mouth till I break the engine. That's obviously a response to Drake saying, I'm the kid with the motor mouth, I'm the one you should worry about. Now back in 2013, Drake did an interview with Elliott Wilson after the Control verse had dropped, and he said, I know that verse had no malice behind it, because I saw him 5 days later at the VMAs and it was all love. He didn't come on there on some wild, I'm in New York, fuck everybody, don't look at me. It was one of those things. I almost wish he had come in there on that shit, because I kinda lost a little respect for the sentiment of the verse. If it's really fuck everybody, then it needs to be fuck everybody. It can't be halfway for the sake of the people. So then in 2015, to coincide with what I just read, Drake said on the song Used To, they gonna say your name on the airwaves, then hit you up right after like it's only rap. Which he's pretty much saying that's what Kendrick did. But then when they met up, it's just hip hop, it's competition. By the way, I just want to mention real quick, also in that interview with Elliott Wilson back in 2013, Drake said, when it comes to competition, I'm more worried about consistency, bodies of work. There's one guy who's up every night thinking about how to get better, how to do things bigger, and that's Kanye West. He's always going to be the guy that tries to outthink and outdo everybody. That's my guy I aspire to surpass. Now that definitely foreshadows some things, once again, to come in 2018. But again, we'll get to that when we get to that. So again, make sure you watch my videos that I'm about to put out so you can follow all the storylines leading up to it, because it's going to be beautiful. But moving on. After that, Drake dropped 6 p.m. in New York, where he sent subliminal shots at Kendrick and Kanye, saying, oh please, take it easy, where's the love and the peace? Why you rapping like you come from the streets? I got a backyard where money seems to come from the trees, and I'm never scared to get some blood on my leaves. Money on the Trees is an obvious reference to Kendrick's song Money Trees from Good Kid Mad City, and Blood on My Leaves is a reference to Kanye's song Blood on the Leaves from Yeezus. So he's pretty much just acknowledging them as competition and saying he's not scared to battle them. Alright, I'll try to get past these next parts quick so we can get to the Heart Pt4 and actually break down the song. On King Kunta in 2015, Kendrick said, I can dig rapping, but a rapper with a ghostwriter? What the fuck happened? I swear I wouldn't tell, but most of y'all sharing bars, like you got the bottom bunk in a 2-man cell. Something's in the water. Now this was an interesting line because he said this a couple months before Meek Mill exposed Drake for having a writer, who was Quentin Miller, on If You're Reading This It's Too Late. 98% sure it's just a coincidence, but hey, who knows. Drake's next response was on the Game song 100, saying, I would have all your fans if I didn't go pop and I just stayed on some conscious shit. And as far as the diss songs go leading up to the Heart Pt4, I'm just going to leave it at this one. In 2015 on Dr. Dre's Compton album, on the song Dark Side/Gone, Kendrick flipped some lines from Drake's song Energy, whereas Drake said, I got enemies, got a lot of enemies, got a lot of people trying to drain me on my energy. Kendrick says, but still I got enemies giving me energy, I want to fight now. Subliminal sending me all of this hate, I thought I was holding the mic down. Okay, so we're about to finally get into the Heart Pt4 breakdown, but I just want to say real quick. Back in summer 2016, Marcellus Wiley, who's a retired NFL player, said that after Control, no matter what Kendrick said, that it was all just rap and all just competition, and no matter what Drake said, that Kendrick was being all cool with him when they met up. One of the rappers, and he wouldn't specify who, was talking shit about the other one on camera. He says, all I know is there was a beef, and all I know is I was witness when the beef would have ignited to proportions we wouldn't have seen since Ja Rule/50, maybe even Ice Cube and NWA, like it went there. But that was destroyed from everyone's property. That was destroyed. That interview, that moment was destroyed. That's all I'm going to say. But I was there, and I heard the shots fired. Now, before even saying what I'm about to say, I think we all know who it was that got upset on camera. But I'm just going to let it be known, and you can look it up. Control came out August 2013. Drake was at ESPN September 2013. And Marcellus Wiley is a sports commentator, so of course he would be at ESPN to have heard something like that. Just saying. Now as far as Big Sean goes, back in 2017 he released a song called No More Interviews, and in it he said these lines, "And I'm just not impressed by you niggas rapping fast, who sound like one big asthma attack but trash when I'm rapping it back, who you put in your top 5 and claim they the savior of rap." Now remember that put in the top 5 and claim they the savior of rap part when I get to the Heart Pt4. But obviously he's talking about Kendrick. Kendrick does a bunch of rapping fast. He says one big asthma attack. Kendrick does that high-pitched voice, or that, that alien voice. I think he was also upset about the Control verse because everybody was saying that Kendrick killed him on it. He's thinking he had all the bars, while Kendrick just did the name drops. He got all the attention. Also, there was that DJ Khaled song, Holy Key, where people also said Kendrick out-rapped Big Sean. So I think he was just holding a lot of that in, and this was him letting that out. He would soon find out it was a big mistake. Alright, so let's get into it. Of course, you can go listen to the song yourself, but if you first play a song when it starts out, you'll hear these little sound effects, and that comes from the song Pride off of Kendrick's album Damn, which I'll be covering in the next video. But the song starts out, "Don't tell a lie on me, I won't tell the truth about you. Don't tell a lie on me, I won't tell the truth about you." And the beat is all nice and serene and feels like you're walking through a meadow, but obviously it's like an ominous warning. The song properly starts out, 30 millions later, my future favorite is the legendary status of a hip-hop rhyme savior, which is why I was saying earlier that he was responding to Big Sean's lines on No More Interviews. That's pretty much it for the first verse that I want to cover. But after the first verse, he goes back to the chorus, "Don't tell a lie on me, I won't tell the truth about you. Don't tell a lie on me, I won't tell the truth about you." Then the whole song switches up, the whole instrumental and the whole energy. The instrumental changes to a song called Fear, which again is on Kendrick Lamar's album Damn, which I'll be covering in the next video. And he says, "My fans can wait for me to sun your punk ass and crush your whole little shit. I'll big pun your punk ass, you a scared little bitch. Tiptoeing around my name, nigga, you lame. And when I get at you, homie, don't you tell me you was just playing." And then there's a little voice in the background, "Oh, I was just playing, K-Dad, you know I nigga rock with you, bro." So already off the bat, the genius already starts, where he says, "My fans can wait for me to sun your punk ass and crush your whole little shit." That obviously could be directed at Drake and Big Sean because Drake's been dissing him a lot. And in the past year, fans have been wanting Kendrick to respond to Big Sean for the No More Interviews lines. Well, he does that right now when he says, "I'll big pun your punk ass, you a scared little bitch." Because Big Sean uses that little bitch ad-lib. And instead of Big Sean, he salutes Big Pun. Because Big Pun is regarded as a top rapper. Then he says, "Tiptoeing around my name, nigga, you lame. And when I get at you, homie, don't you tell me you was just playing." Which is funny because he's tiptoeing around these people's names while also talking shit about them for tiptoeing around his name. But whatever. And you could say I'm reaching, but these last lines sound like he's trying to imitate Big Sean. But who knows. Then the beat switches up yet again to resemble a heartbeat. Like a boom boom. So Kendrick goes on to say, "Shut the fuck up, you sound like the last nigga I know. Might end up like the last nigga I know. Oh, you don't want to clash, nigga, I know." Now these next lines coming up is exactly where I knew shit was about to change. I mean, for Kendrick, for the rap game, just life in general. Again, another beat switch happens and it just turns to some demonic ass shit. It's amazing, but it's a really demonic beat. He says, "I put my foot on the gas, hell on the floor, hopping out before the vehicle crashed. I'm gonna roll, yelling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I am the greatest rapper alive. So damn great, motherfucker, I've died. What you're hearing now is a paranormal vibe." Which the died and the paranormal vibe is an amazing bar. Just saying. Later on in the song, he says, "Donald Trump is a chump, know how we feel, punk. Tell him that God coming. And Russia need a replay button, y'all up to something. Electoral votes look like memorial votes. But America's truth ain't ignoring the votes. It's blasphemy. How many gonna blaspheme?" Which those lines, blasphemy and blasphemy, is him interloping songs from Tupac's song Blasphemy off his Machiavelli album. And Jay-Z's line from the Memphis Bleak song, Dear Summer. I prophesized on my last song, you laughed at me. But when this shit get brackin', don't you ask for me. How many leaders gonna tell you the truth after me? Now come 2020, those lines aged really well. You already know what I'm talking about. So strangely, even in 2020, there are still people that are denying that Kendrick was dissing Big Sean and or Drake on this song, which doesn't make sense. But here's the part where I said Kendrick responded directly to Big Sean's song No More Interviews. Remember, on No More Interviews, Big Sean said, "And I'm just not impressed by you niggas rapping fast, who sound like one big asthma attack but trash when I'm rapping it back. Who you put in your top 5 and claim they the savior of rap?" Kendrick later on the Heart Pt4 says, yelling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, "I am the greatest rapper alive." Then later on, he says, 30 millions later, my future favors the legendary status of a hip-hop rhyme savior. I don't see how there was any denying that that was a response, but whatever. Side note, this line, "You jump sides on me, now you about to meet Westbrook," referring to basketball player Kevin Durant, which by the way, Drake is really cool with, who left Oklahoma to go to Golden State. Probably one of the greatest lines in all of hip-hop. Now getting to near the end of the song, this part of the song I think is the most genius in where Kendrick dissed Big Sean and Drake at the same time. Saying, "Technical foul, I'm flagrant on foul. They throwing me out, you throwing the towel. Look at the crowd, they..." Then he stops himself and has like an inner monologue saying, "No, I don't like that." While a sound in the background of him crumbling paper and throwing it out. "Look at my smile, I'm smirking, calm but urgent. That ain't the style, fuck. So many verses you live in denial. So many verses I never run out." Which is obviously a diss at Drake, like I said earlier, days after Meek Mill had exposed him for having a writer. And if that weren't enough proof, right after he says, "Ho, Jay-Z Hall of Fame, sit your punk ass down," referring to Drake saying, "I used to want to be on Rockefeller, then I turned into Jay," on the song Summer 16. But also, a couple months before this song came out, Jay-Z had officially been inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame. So this all just came together beautifully. What makes the line even better is that Big Sean had an album called Hall of Fame back in 2013, which is what he was using the song Control to promote. So again, it all just works together perfectly. So getting to the end of the song, he diverts his attention back to Drake, saying, "So that means you ain't bigger than rapping. So that means no more playing the back scenes." And the bigger than rapping part of course refers to Drake seeming like he's more of a pop star, more of a pop artist, going bigger than just making rap songs, which is something OVO 40 himself has talked about. Then he says, "I'll let y'all worry about a list, I'm on some other shit." A difference between accomplishments and astonishments. While Kendrick does have a lot of accomplishments, people usually focus more on his astonishments, more about how great his work is and how great he is. Whereas I think Drake makes good music, or at least he used to make good music. He has more accomplishments. He has all these record sales and album sales, top charting history and record breaking. But as far as quality, Drake equals accomplishments, Kendrick equals astonishments. Then he says, "You know what time it is, Annie up, this isn't forever. Y'all got till April the 7th to get y'all shit together," referring to the song that he would eventually drop the next week, titled Humble, off of the album titled Damn, which I'll be covering in the next video. So that's about it for this video. Again, I know I already said it before, but this is the first of a bunch of videos I'm going to be making. So if you want to stick around for the series, please like, share, and subscribe. I promise you the videos are going to get a lot better. This is just my first one. I'm just going to be learning. I'm going to be improving as I go along. It's not just going to be a bunch of videos of me reading lyrics. I just had to get this one out of the way. I'm going to be adding new elements to all the future videos. And it's going to get much, much better when I finally get into 2018, but I still have some 2017 to cover, just so I can set the stage and really drive home my point. My next video, again, is going to be on Kendrick Lamar's Damn album, which is going to be one of the main things that was integral in how 2018 went, as far as hip-hop goes. Not sure when it'll be out, but probably sometime within the next couple weeks. So if you liked the video, let me know what you liked about it. If you didn't like it, let me know what you didn't like, what you think I can improve on, or just your thoughts in general. And if you want to see more, put the notifications on. Here's Big Sean in an interview with Joe Budden, reflecting on the situation in 2020, claiming that there was never any beef with him and Kendrick, saying he called Top Dog after the Heart Pt4 and Top said it wasn't about him. Clearly a lie. So I don't know if Sean was just scared for war against Kendrick, or if he really thinks Kendrick didn't diss him, but whatever.
He didn't came over, chilled at my house. He didn't invited me to his mama house in Compton. You know what I'm saying? Big Sean, Kendrick, beef was going on. It was something I wish I would have spoke up about because there was nothing. And when I say nothing, bro, I'm not even bullshitting you. Because you were one of the main people who were pushing the narrative. I'm like, what part they talking about? And they like, oh, this part. I'm like, okay, so I immediately hit up Top. Cause I got a relationship with them. And they like, no, it ain't about you. It ain't about you at all. He like, that was just an addressing to everyone. Like, but don't listen to the internet. They just gonna throw 100 on it. They just gonna throw 200 on it. I'm like, all right, for sure. And I have that conversation. I'm like, all right, I don't even gotta reach out to Kendrick. It got to a point where somehow it was just a weird tension between me and him, even though it was already said it wasn't no beef because people made it that way, right?
And that's the end of it.